Hi. I know Tom did a video last week. We're planning on doing a little update video every Thursday. Fingers crossed. We said this before, but we're not the best at doing it. So just trying to keep a little schedule going, just to keep you engaged. Hopefully it'll work. So it's my turn. We are going to do some videos together, but I think we've kind of decided in some ways that it's going to be more of a vlog than necessarily just about the collection and stuff like that. So hopefully you'll like to watch it. Obviously if you do, you can like, subscribe, comment, all those kind of things. They do help the engagement, but you don't have to. It's completely up to you. Okay, so my little update. Tom spoke about kind of some of the things that we had started doing. So instead of kind of blindly going and picking up a load of stuff from charity shops and whatever, we've condensed what we're doing with our collection. So one of the main things we're doing is when we complete a game, we can get one from a list that we've made of ones that we kind of really want. Typically mine are far more expensive than Tom's, that's about right. But that way we are not blindly adding to the collection like just a whole jumble of things that we at the moment kind of are trying to collate into a better place. We've got one set of shelves, we're hopefully going to get some more soon, just to make the garage a better place, easier to add things to, stuff like that, so it's not just kind of left on the side and forgotten about. And also by kind of connecting it to actually playing games, that way we're actually enjoying the things that we've got before getting something else. So I have completed 2 games so far. Well, actually 3, but I haven't got one yet for completing my 3rd one, so we'll ignore that for now. But the first game I completed was Life is Strange True Colours. I had already started that one, but I completed it a few weeks ago, and I really enjoyed it. I love the Life is Strange franchise anyway. I've played all of them up until this point. Haven't finished number 2, so that actually is one that I've just downloaded again on the PlayStation to finish. But no, I loved number 4, really, isn't it? Or what's number 3? Well, I don't know. Whatever. I love the gameplay. I love the kind of the decision making, the choices you have to make, and how kind of they determine the ending for you. So that really does make a difference for me. I like those kind of games where your choices kind of are the things that make a difference, because it's more like life then, I suppose. There's no kind of, well, of course there is a predetermined outcome, but your choices do change that along the way. So for completing that one, I actually haven't got it here with me, it's still downstairs, I forgot to bring it up. I got the original Crash Bandicoot game on the PlayStation 1. Tom picked that one up for me, and it's in really good condition as well. I have the other ones. I've always had number 2, Warped and CTR for the PS1. I had those originally. They're still mine from when I was younger, but I never had number 1, never played number 1 until I played it on the collection of it on the PS4. But now I have that on the PS1, so that kind of completes the CTR collection. Crash Bandicoot collection on there. The second game I completed was, no one will be surprised, Spyro 2. I like to try and do this game every so often. I've played it so many times. There's a long running joke between me and Tom that when his brother was younger, he would literally, he was about 5 or 6, he would ring me up and go like, Hannah, where will I find this gem I can't find on Skelos Badlands or something like that? And I'd be like, well, if you go here you can find it there, because I knew the game that well. Literally, Spyro is like Monkey Island is Tom's game, Spyro is mine. You know, I have Spyro on my arm, you can't really see it, but we've got Spyro and Crash Bandicoot, so that works well. And basically I know the game like the back of my hands. Tom was like, no, you know, if you play it, you must get the platinum on it again, which I had done on his profile, but I have now done it on mine. So, yeah, I'm in the middle of actually playing the number one as well. And we're arguing whether I have to get the platinum on that one, because I don't know that one so well, but there we go. But my game for completing Spyro 2 was... Yes, I know it's Japanese, but I have a bit of a thing for the Japanese Mario Party games. I'm trying to collect all the Mario Party games anyway on the consoles. The only ones I don't have are like 1, 2, 3, and 7, I think, actually, to be brutally honest. And maybe one on the DS and one on the Switch. So quite a few, but even still, I've got a lot of them. Obviously, the ones on the N64 we know are expensive, but actually, to be honest, the Japanese ones, I love the box art. I love. I've got 3 of them on the GameCube, which Tom managed to pick up for like 15 quid plus postage on eBay last year, and I prefer them. And I think if we're going to get them boxed, we're going to be able to get them in Japanese. Whether or not we'll ever get them in English, I don't know. I don't really care. If I've got them, I've got number 2, and I've got it in Japanese. So this, like, Tom said they describe it as good, but like it's in such great condition. I'm amazed, actually, considering it's boxed as well. So yeah, so that was my game for completing Spyro 2. Like I said, I have completed another one and I'm on to another game I'm playing now, but I'll come on to that the next time I do a video. So the other things I want to talk about, not only are we kind of trying to play games more to then add to the collection, I'm currently doing an Open University course with basically to get a degree. Hopefully in arts and humanities, creative writing and classical civilizations or history or something like that is my aim in the end. I'm only in like my second year of my first year, as it were, because obviously I'm doing it part-time. But one of the big things for me with my university degree is, because I'm doing creative writing, one of the big things like that helps you with writing is to read. And the more you read, the more creativity you can put into your own pieces, and the more of a wide range of authors you read, again, helps. So I set myself a challenge last year to read 50 books, which I did, but there was no stipple, that's not my word. I read a lot by the same kind of authors. Like, I love Lisa Jewell, and I wanted to read all of her books. So I had read a lot of them, but like I read about 7 by her. Same with Harlan Coben. I'm a great Harlan Coben fan. So again, I read quite a few of his books. So it's that thing of, yeah, I read 50, or I read more actually, but it was very niche, the authors that I read, because I probably only read about maximum of 10 authors. So this year, actually Tom suggested it and I like it. We were originally going to do it by like 50 authors I'd never read before, but I was like, no, because there are some books which I do want to read that I don't want to read and then not count towards my total. So it's 50 books by 50 different authors. So I can read a Harlan Coben, I can read a Lisa Jewell, but once I've read one, they can't, if I read any more, it can't go on the list. And I'm happy with that. So I have been documenting this on my Instagram. So if you fancy going and following me, it's Hannah's Ghastly Gifts with underscores between the words. I'll put a link to it just in case anyone wants to follow. It's really not that interesting, but it's documenting kind of a lot of the stuff that I'm saying on here. But I think this is book number 9. But book number 9 I'm going to talk about here, because I'm not going to go talk about all the others, because I've been there, done that, and we're in February, so there is just no point. Is The Best Seat in the Universe by Graham Anderson. Now, I was recommended this book by my counsellor, and we talk a lot about kind of like journeys and kind of people coming in and out of your life and that kind of thing. And we sat there and we talk a lot about me writing and reading and how we both have a love for books. And she actually recommended this one to me, and I was like, oh, I might have it in my shelf. So she got it out for me and lent it to me. It's basically the idea of kind of the journey of a grandson and a granddad. Granddad dies holding the hand of his grandson, and they kind of get catapulted into this universe, kind of a little bit, I suppose, a little bit like Limbo in some ways. You know that the granddad's on the way to afar, but it's just about teach. It's a little bit like a self-help book, but as a story. So it kind of, the granddad like is teaching the grandson all about like decision making and hope, and basically they do it through a bus. So they go on a journey on this bus, and people get on and off the bus. And I've always thought about life being a journey, and I've never thought of it as a bus. I've thought of it as a train. It's just metaphorical, isn't it, really? And you stop at your stations, and you've got people who are always on. Do excuse the dog, he is outside and barking because he's not in here with me. And so you get on a train, and you've got people who are on there all the time with you. They're your family, but then they might die, so they have to get off, or your children or whatever, so they travel on the journey with you. But then you've got those who get on and off in your life. Some of those people get on, get off, and then get back on again. We don't know when people are going to be important in our life, but it's about kind of embracing that and understanding and kind of knowing that your life is a journey, to not be scared, not be afraid to do things, to put yourself first, to do all these things. And it was just a really good read. Like I said, it's that thing of, it is, I can see the elements of like the self-help in there, but because it's written as a story, it's just that little bit more relatable. I personally feel, I don't know whether everyone would find it that way, but it just made you think. Because it's being referred to in real people, like in the story, as it were, rather than just a thing that says, right, Hope, this is what you need to do this, this is what you need to do that. It's actually kind of the grandson questioning the grandfather's reasonings as to why they're visiting somewhere on the journey, and kind of why people would be there, why they wouldn't, why would we believe, why would we want peace, why wouldn't we want war, why, all these kind of things. And it's just really interesting. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but the whole point of me reading books, from all genres, from all authors, is just a really great way of kind of getting a real good basis of writing. And I'll sit there and I'll look at a phrase and think, I'm going to note that down. For my course, I have to have a little writer's notebook, and there are some times I'll read a book and I just love a little turn of phrase and like the descriptiveness that an author uses. And do you know what? There's never any harm in making a note of these things to be able to kind of utilize within your own writing. For God's sake, Shakespeare based stories on other people's writing. It's not plagiarizing, it's using people's imagery and taking it and changing it to how you want it for your story. We all get ideas from something to be able to move on to something else. So yeah, it's just something I love about reading books, and actually kind of noting stuff down and feeling something that they've made me feel about something, to then move on from it. Okay, so I'm going to shut up about books now, because I'm sure I'm boring everyone and you've probably all switched off anyway. So, last thing that Tom and I have been doing is desperately trying to lose weight. This is like a massive bugbear for me, always has been. I've had a really, quite a tough few years, and in that time it's been trying to get my medication sorted out into a level where I feel like I can be human again. And that's been really hard. Sorry, the dog is still barking, so I do apologise. I'm not going to get up and go and let him in. So, like, for me, a lot of that kind of drug regime and getting levels right and stuff like that has made me put on weight. I'm not going to say I eat massively healthily, and I'm not going to say I exercise all the time, because I really don't. It'll be like me not blaming the cake when I've got it sat before me and I'm gorging on it. I'm not going to say that I don't eat more than I should, or some of the wrong things sometimes. But there is a certain level of drug-induced weight gain for me, and it is really hard. I've always struggled with my weight. It's been something that has been part of my life ever since I remember. I hit puberty and I ballooned, and even though I did gymnastics 4 times a week, didn't matter. And I would love to be the weight that I was when I was at school. I look back at photos and I see myself and I thought I was fat, and I wasn't. I was healthy. And like, I'm like 3.5 stone heavier than like I was at that point. And I know I've had children, I know I've had 3 children and whatever, but you know, it's really hard. And so, like, really trying, like, between us, Tom's so good at trying to incentivize me. You know, I lost a lot of weight after I had Benjamin. I lost like 5 stone after I had Benjamin, and that was 7 years ago or so, and I vowed like never to put it back on again. But you know, these things, life gets in the way, doesn't it? And when I lost it all, I got the Disney Lego castle, which I built and is still in pride of place in my kitchen. And that's a lot of money. But like, knowing I got that at the end was like really helped. And I put every pound I lost, I put a pound in a pot, and I then also treated myself to I think it was this tattoo here, which you can't really see on the screen, which was a tattoo for my children. It's a symbol for all of them on there. Only I really understand it, and that's what, you know, that's what matters. It's not their names on my arm, it's symbols. But like, by incentivizing, what we've decided to do is every pound we lose, we get a game. So I get a game for the Wii U, Tom gets a game for the Mega Drive. I don't get to choose my games, Tom doesn't get to choose his games. So in that respect, kind of, we're taking charge of our weight loss, but the other person kind of gets to choose those rewards, rather than it being something that, you know, we know about and stuff. So I know I'm getting something, but I don't know what. So I have managed to lose 6 pounds so far. I feel like I'm faltering. The older I get, the harder it is to lose weight, and it's like, it feels soul destroying. I started eating healthier. I'm now doing Gusto for me and the family, and it's great, actually, kind of taking responsibility in cooking. I'm combining that with fasting as well, so I'm doing the 16/8 fasting. But I have such little confidence in myself that exercise is really difficult for me. And I know that sounds really stupid. How can exercise be difficult? But like, putting myself out there and going to the gym and stuff, and not holding myself back in times of taking the dog for a walk or going to the gym or whatever is really hard. And I can see Tom doing all these things and going to football and putting himself out there, and I'm so proud of him, but I'm not proud of me. I don't want to be. I don't want to be this weight. And I know my weight doesn't define who I am. Yeah, I know it doesn't define me. But even still, I think because it's something as a woman especially that, like, you look around you and I'm never going to be stick. I'm 5'3", but I just feel like I look like a balloon. And I'm sitting there lecturing my mum this morning about, like, looking in the mirror and not telling herself she's ugly or whatever, and here's me moaning about myself. But it's hard when you get in that mindset, especially about your weight. And I just look at the blob there, and it's difficult, but hey ho. Moving on. So I have lost £6 so far. There are 2 games which I have got, which I can't remember what they are. They are now on the shelf, so I'm not going to go through those. But I have managed to get Planes. So I'm not holding it properly. I laughed at Tom about not being able to do this properly, but here's me struggling to hold it up to the blooming camera, which is right in front of me. So Planes, Steam World Collection, Skylanders Trap Team. I have all the other Skylanders, so it's the last one to get. I would love dearly to get them all in their, like, starter packs, but I think maybe that's something for the future as we move along. Get the game itself, and then big box items of them is something to move on to. And then lastly we have Just Dance 2018. So actually there's only 2 Just Dances I need now, which is 2019 and it's not the kid. Oh, I think it's the kids one, or it's not the Disney one, it's the kids one. I don't even know, but I know those 2. Tom's on it. The list is no longer mine. And I have to, had to take that away from me, but it has actually stopped me kind of just going onto Vinted and just seeing what's on there and whatever. So no, I'm happy about that, and I've been finding a few bargains for Tom for his Mega Drive games as well for him. So I'm really proud of us for that. I think it's just a case of linking it to something has helped, and it's like linking buying games to playing them. It just keeps it structured, and I much prefer structure. Okay, well, I'm going to shut up now because I've gone on for far too long and don't need to see my mug on the screen anymore, so we don't need 45 minutes of me going on. So if you've got this far, thank you ever so much for watching, and like, subscribe, comment, anything like that. Just the engagement does help. I know we all say it, but yeah. Okay, well, thank you ever so much for watching, and I shall see you again next time. Bye. I just winked. I'm sorry. See you later.